Iran stands at a critical juncture, a moment that could redefine its future, sending ripples across the globe. The country is gripped by intense, widespread protests, challenging the theocratic regime, fueled by economic despair and a deep desire for greater freedoms. The government has responded with repression, mass arrests, and a nationwide internet shutdown, plunging the country into digital darkness. This turmoil unfolds against immense external pressure and strategic importance. Iran is a major player in global energy markets and a pivotal Middle East power. Its influence extends via proxy forces, and its nuclear program raises international concern. The stakes are incredibly high. To understand Iran's importance, one must first look at a map. Iran's southern coast dominates one side of the Strait of Hormuz, one of the planet's most vital maritime passages. It's the only sea route from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. About 1/5 of the world's daily oil flows through it. Any disruption would slam the global economy, sending energy prices skyward. That geography gives Iran a powerful lever. Closure, mining, or obstruction is a constant concern for policymakers. Even minor incidents spike shipping insurance, raising costs across transport and manufacturing. Iran also holds the world's second-largest gas reserves. Decades of sanctions have hampered development, leaving high inflation and a devalued currency. If pressure eases, Iran could reshape global supply. Iran's reach isn't defined by conventional forces alone. It has perfected asymmetric warfare through proxies. A sophisticated web of non-state actors projects power. Rather than direct wars with the US or Israel, Tehran cultivates allied militias across the region. This network spans what's called the Shia Crescent, with Hezbollah, a state within a state in Lebanon, powerful Shia militias in Iraq, decisive support for Assad in Syria, and backing for the Houthis in Yemen. These groups let Iran harass shipping and pressure rivals, threaten Israel's North and Saudi assets, but missteps, retaliation, or assassinations can spiral, especially if internal unrest pushes leaders outward, turning a shadow war into a broader conflict. A groundswell of anger has erupted into one of Iran's largest protest movements. For nearly 2 weeks, people in over 100 cities and towns have taken the streets. Business owners led early demonstrations in Tehran as the currency plunged and prices soared. Economic pain became political. Calls for an end to clerical rule. Slogans denounced dictatorship and leadership. The movement is broad and diverse, echoing the scale of the 2022-2023 protests. Inflation topped 42% in late 2025, with blackouts and fuel shortages prompting public apologies. The response has been swift and forceful. Rights groups report at least 36 killed and over 2,000 detained. A call by exiled figure Reza Pahlavi added momentum, alarming authorities. In a bid to regain control, authorities imposed a nationwide internet blackout, severing connections across the country. It's a hallmark of crisis management, designed to create an information vacuum. Inside Iran, it disrupts organizing and momentum, isolating cities and neighborhoods. Outside, it blunts scrutiny of state violence. As analysts note, blackouts often precede deadly force. Some videos still trickled out, revealing defiant crowds facing heavy security. But the flow has slowed, obscuring facts and casualties, echoing past crackdowns, and signaling a regime bracing to neutralize what it views as an existential threat. Amid unrest, an astonishing report emerged. The Times reported a Plan B for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to flee if collapse looms. The 86-year-old leader, with about 20 close aides and family, could seek refuge in Russia. Reports include provisions for his son, Mojtaba. Such planning implies profound concern at the top. A Western assessment described Khamenei as paranoid and weakened after the 2024 war, having kept a low profile as senior commanders were killed. Parallels are drawn to Assad's flight to Moscow. Khamenei's departure could trigger a power vacuum, unleashing succession battles within the IRGC and factions, risking internal conflict with regional repercussions. Iran's nuclear program suffered major strikes in 2024 during a 12-day conflict and subsequent attacks. Parts of Natanz and the Talagan 2 site were destroyed. Enrichment paused for a time. New imagery shows rebuilding at Talagan 2 and a large cover over a bombed Natanz facility likely to evaluate what survived, while uranium enriched to 60% reportedly remains in country. The IAEA notes no visible active enrichment, but renewed movement and limited access. A cornered regime might accelerate to deter intervention, while rivals may see a window for further strikes. Either path risks miscalculation and wider war centered on the nuclear file. Internal pressure meets volatile external rhetoric. Washington and Jerusalem watch closely. President Trump warned Tehran not to kill peaceful protesters, saying the US is locked and loaded. Khamenei called protesters mercenaries for foreigners, vowing a crackdown. This feedback loop raises the stakes. Mass casualties could trigger outside responses. Tehran could lash out via proxies, targeting US forces or Israeli assets, or disrupting Persian Gulf shipping. A single spark could ignite something far larger. Iran's chaos unfolds in a heavily armed region. Choices in Tehran, Washington, and Jerusalem will decide if this remains domestic or spills into regional war with global consequences. This is a pivotal moment with global security and economic stakes. Widespread protests, a harsh crackdown, and reports of an escape plan create extreme fragility. First, an oil shock if Hormuz is threatened. Second, a wider war via proxy escalation. Third, proliferation risks tied to enriched uranium. In a blackout, focus on verifiable sources, rights groups, independent journalists, and international bodies. Watch protest scale and persistence, crackdown severity, leadership fractures, and regional troop movements. Iranians seek dignity, freedom, and a stable future. The safest path is peaceful political change with regional stability. The world must watch and understand the stakes. Decisions made now will echo for years to come. Enjoyed this breakdown? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this helped, tap like. It really boosts the channel. Subscribe to Understanding the World for weekly, clear global insights.